Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode, Empire Jeff TV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Sunday night from Los Angeles, California, man. A night where the Los Angeles Dodgers got absolutely bullied, capital B, all caps, bullied by the San Diego Padres earlier today, man. Can't call them the Padres tonight, man. They handed us our asses today, man. Beat us down, man. 6 homers, just absolutely bullied the Dodgers tonight. Horrible performance by LA. Across the board, Jack Flaherty, while not terrible, wasn't great, obviously. And our best 2 starters have kind of been touched up to start this series. Our bullpen got to today, and it was like batting practice for the Padres out there. Just a lot went on at the stadium today, and it was frustrating. It was frustrating, man. We had all kinds of nonsense happening on the field that had nothing to do with the game, in the stands, in the parking lot. There is a lot of things over the last couple nights at the stadium, even with the win last night. But it's the Dodgers have put themselves in a position now where they have to go to San Diego and at very minimum get one of them. And we may be looking at a game where it's Walker Buehler or Landon Knack or a bullpen game mixed in there after a day off tomorrow. And we have the Dodgers wearing their head again of the no arms, no bats. And when that happens, as it often has in Dodger postseasons, in the last 2 postseasons, they went out in the first round to an NL West foe, playing just like they did tonight. Only 5 hits. 2 runs. That home run that Mookie thought he hit, that we all thought he hit, that Profar made that catch on, that kind of sparked some things in that game, in that section of the field where the fans were sitting and where Profar was, led to all kinds of extracurricular stuff. Fans throwing stuff on the field, fans throwing a baseball at Profar. To be fair, what really happened was they didn't throw the baseball at Profar. Profar when he made that. And make no mistake about it, that was an incredible play he made on that Mookie potential home run. It was essentially a home run, and Profar went and took it back, right? Everyone's giving hell about the fan who let him catch it, but come on, man. I mean, as a fan, your program, like don't get anywhere near a player if they're trying to catch a ball. A lot of fans don't know where the boundary of that is. Excuse me. A lot of fans don't know that if the player comes into the stands that you can interfere. They're so programmed of watching Bartman and all this stuff of if you interfere with play, you're kicked out and you're called a fool and all this stuff. So a lot of fans don't know the rules of a home run ball if it actually is in the stands. A lot of fans don't know that. So that guy didn't know that. And outside of that, incredible play. Like the Padres just made every single play. But on that note, Profar makes that catch, pulls the glove back real quick to like toy with people and starts hopping around out there, right? I get it. He got caught up in the moment. He had just made an incredible play. Incredible play. He didn't say anything to the fans at that moment. He just kind of hopped around and rubbed it in because he was feeling himself after making an incredible play. It's not the first to do that, not the last. But when you mix in the element of these playoffs and the high tensions and everything going on, those and alcohol, especially when people are at that stadium 2 hours early getting bent, right? You had people, you know, kind of a little bit worked up there, and Profar kept chirping at a lot of people in that section. And then he comes in there, you know, between innings and throwing the baseball around. He decides then, okay, I'm going to give a ball to the fans. He throws it in there, and whatever fan got the baseball, just threw it back to the field. He didn't throw it at Profar, and Profar's back was turned to it. So I think that's why he got upset, as the ball got thrown back while his back was to the fans, and he kind of lost his mind there a little bit and went crazy. And then it kind of sparked where Tatis was kind of messing with the crowd, doing fake tears and all this stuff, right? So they started throwing stuff on the field. And you can't have that. You can't do that. At the end of the day, they shouldn't be taunting. They shouldn't be doing that stuff either. But it's the playoffs. Like I said, the intensity is high. The competitive nature is there. At some point, like, it's just, people just got to it's just trash talk. You want to shut them up, you beat them. That's how you shut them up. You beat them. If they're beating you, they're going to talk. You know that. You know they're going to talk. You know, Flaherty and Manny get into it. Manny throwing a baseball kind of towards or into the Dodger dugout between innings. Not throwing it like full cannon, but like rolling one down there or something just to send a message. That's when him and Flaherty got into it again. And, you know, it's chippy. There's going to be chirping. It's playoff baseball. It's October baseball. This is not abnormal. It's happened in many series. Look at the Mets everywhere Jesse Winker is. Everywhere he goes, he's getting into it with someone. Latest we saw with the Diamonds, right? We saw him getting into it with them. But the Dodgers need to have a little bit more passion, a little bit more edge, a little bit more fight in them, a little more anger. You don't got to fight the Padres. You don't got to be out there acting a fool. But we need something at these plates, man. That we, you know, everybody knows Mookie. Mookie is my favorite player in baseball. And there's really nothing I can do to excuse him for this stretch that he does in these moments that he's done since 2020. And I hate it, not as much as he does, obviously, but I hate it because he's my favorite player. And I hate to see him go through this because I know what he has meant to this team, especially this season when he came back and the way he started this season. But it means nothing if you can't be a legend in October, because that's where legends are made in this sport, is October. It's great if you do it in March. It's great if you can do it in April, May, June, July, August, September. That's all great too. You're going to have a Hall of Fame career doing that. But legends, the real legends, are made in October. And Mookie, since 2020, just really has not had many or any moments that you could sit back and say, like, man, we didn't lose because of him. Like, we can't just sit back and wait for Ohtani to save us. If we do that, we're the Angels, right? We can't do that. Mookie Betts is too good. Freddie Freeman is too good. Teoscar Hernandez is too good. Will Smith is too good. All these guys are too good to have games like they did tonight multiple times. You will have games like this tonight. You will. That's not abnormal. That's not abnormal. So you're going to have games like this, even when you have the best lineup in baseball. The Padres will have games like this, even though they've got a team that makes consistent contact, barely strikes out, puts pitchers through hell just trying to get them out. Even like, when you get a Padre out, you feel like, man, that was a stressful at bat. That was a stressful matchup. The Dodgers, it doesn't feel like those outs are stressful to San Diego. Like, you never felt that Darvish was stressed out there. Even when that inning when the Dodgers had bases loaded with nobody out, he got out of there with only giving up 1 run. Like, he never felt stressed out there. When you look at Flaherty, the whole game, he looks tense because that lineup is stressful. The Dodgers lineup should be stressful. You lead off with Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Teo, your front four. That should be hell to pitchers as well. But San Diego just doesn't look stressed out there when they're facing them. Now, Ohtani, you can see like they know, like, oh man, this dude he's a problem. But they also know they've got confidence with the rest of the lineup. And if the bottom of the lineup is not getting on when Shohei comes up and there's no one ahead of him, then he really can't do as much damage. And if he does get out and you got 2 outs or 1 out, whatever it is, you got Mookie behind him and Mookie's popping up or striking out and not getting done what he needs to get done. And Freddie is clearly not healthy. I saw on that play where he fielded it, had to run to first base. It looked like he could barely move. They took him out about an inning later. So the point that they took him out, it's pretty much 48 hours of rest before the next game because they're off tomorrow. He'll have all day Tuesday off until they play Tuesday night. But who knows if he'll even be ready to play by then. So it's the injuries suck. They do. But it's part of the game. We wish we had Glasnow, but even if we did, who's to say he wouldn't get touched up too? Yamamoto got touched up. Flaherty got touched up. Dylan Cease got touched up. Like, Darvish is a solid pitcher. He's 38 years old. He's had meltdown moments in our stadium while pitching for us, but he did not pitch like this. If he only would have delivered a performance like this in Game 7 against the Astros, then we probably have another championship. Now, obviously, the Astros knew what he was throwing, but what I'm saying is, like, Darvish dominated the Dodgers today. It was embarrassing today. This game was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Everything from the way the Dodgers couldn't hit them to the way that the Padres hit everything we had to what happened in the stands with the fans. Everything. Tatis Jr. Hitting a home run and going around the bases, hitting you with that little stutter shimmy before touching third. Like, that upsets people. It doesn't bother me. Like, I don't care about if someone doing a bat flip or celebrating when they get a home run. Like, that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. But it upsets a lot of baseball fans, and it upsets baseball players. But to me, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I mean, like I said, I love basketball. I love football. Guys celebrate on every single play in those sports. It doesn't bother me when someone does that in baseball. But I'm the minority in that. It bothers a lot of other people. Those who play and those that watch and those that are at the game. They take it as an insult, I don't. But it doesn't matter because, like I said, I'm in the minority and the bulk of the people do take it the other way. So Tatis doing that, doing the fake tears, waving his tongue around, laughing. Like, a lot of people are going to see that as childish and react to it as such. Me, I'm just like, play ball. Like, you want to shut him up, beat him. That's how I was always with it. I'll talk trash too, in elements, but like, if someone talks it but can't take it, that's frustrating. But if it's just trash talk and it doesn't spill over to anything crazy, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Trash talk is part of the game. But baseball is just one of those sports where it's like these unwritten rules and these things where it's a gentleman's sport, but they pick and choose when it's okay to be the gentleman, right? Because forever pitchers were celebrating when they struck you out. But whenever you hit a home run, you did anything, you're showing up the pitcher. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. A pitcher will have way more strikeouts in a game on average than a single player will have home runs, right? So, but the pitcher can celebrate on strikeouts. Now, maybe not every one, but he'll celebrate on a strikeout at the end of an inning. And so I think that's where things kind of get crossed. Like, those lines get blurred there a little bit. But you could see, like even in the stadium, you could see like tension brewing. Like, there's a good, I don't want to say a good amount of Padre fans there, but there's enough. And when you're walking through there, some of them are like You see them and you know they seem like good people. They're just kind of minding their business, there to support their team. They have every right to do so. And then you'll have ones that are just like looking for trouble. You know what I mean? Like going into enemy territory, like, what's up? Like foolishness, right? When you go into someone's house, you don't put your feet on the furniture. You know what I mean? You take your shoes off if they say take your shoes off. You don't just go into someone's house, you really like, and just go in their fridge and start taking stuff, right? So it's like, you can't go into someone's house and like be disrespectful. Some of them were, but I saw a lot of them just came to watch the game. And to be fair, there were Dodger fans that were being disrespectful to them just because they were repping their team. And that sucks too, you know? That sucks. So where I was last night, well, I was in like 3 different sections last night. So I was in like 3 different sections, but there were Padre fans there, and I was talking my trash too, but it's just talking trash, right? There are people like, I never throw food at them. I don't throw stuff. I don't talk crazy, disrespectful. To me, it's all just about the sports I talk, right? But you hear some crazy stuff. People talk crazy. People throw things at them, and that's just like going too far. So when you start seeing all that happen, and then you saw what happened today, and Petco, they're going to be all over the Dodgers for that, you know, and they're calling the Dodger fans like a disgrace and all this. And last night there were guys that were that were like dragged off the field. One guy ran onto the field after his friend was being like subdued by security. He went to go back up his friend against 20 people. There was no winning that. You were just going to get dragged out with them. Real smart. And it was it's stupid. It's stupid. And you have what happened today, the way the Dodgers played, and then you have these sideshows, and it's a bad look. It's a bad look. But at the end of the day, like I said, Shohei can't be great every single game. We think he can, and we expect it almost at this point because he is great. He is so great. But there's going to be games where he just doesn't have it, or there's going to be games where he just doesn't deliver in every single moment. And we have to have our other guys step up, our other superstars. And Mookie Betts is a surefire superstar. That's my guy. Like I said, my favorite player. But Mookie has to be better. He knows this. He has to be better. You could see it on him. You can see it in his body language. You can see it in the post-game interview. You can see it. But baseball will do that to you. Baseball will mess with your head. You will be on top of the world, and then you're at the bottom. Like that. And Mookie Betts is going through that right now. Shohei was just so unreal since the 50-50 game that it's covered up a lot of other stuff. And like I said, when the bottom of our lineup gets on, we are lethal and deadly. Like just had like some double plays. Edmund lines out in the first pitch on that double play. When you had some things going there, Max Muncy hits a line. Like the Dodgers hit a lot of baseballs hard. They were just getting caught. We had the great play by Profar. Tatis made a good play in right. Jackson Merrill ran one down. Arise made a great play at first base, a couple of them, and he's not even known for that. So it's like, even when the Dodgers were putting the bat on the ball, like even when they were touching Darvish, when they were getting to him, they were outs. And that's very frustrating. When those loud outs, when you're just like smoking the ball, but it gets caught and someone makes a great play, that's demoralizing. Absolutely demoralizing. And that's what the Dodgers are kind of been faced with. That's what they're living with right now. Is they had one of those games where it was very unlucky and nothing they did seemed to work, and everything the Padres did didn't seem to go their way. It seemed that they were just launching off on everything, and the Dodgers just couldn't hit anything. And every ball the Dodgers hit hard for the most part, except for that Muncy home run, was caught. And that's very frustrating, but it just be that way sometimes. It's just one of those games. And look, this series is not over. The series is not over. It's frustrating. It's annoying. They put a damper on the day for me. It really did. But at the end of the day, these games happen in baseball, even to the teams who go on to win a World Series. They have a game like this sometimes. And that game before, the first game was so good, man. That Mets-Phillies game was so good. I thought the Mets were going to pull that off, man. It was so good that you get a game like this, and it's like, man, we had the bad game. We had the bad game. And we were the bad team in a bad game. But we knew that keep going to that bullpen so much, and eventually they were going to get touched. And, today they did. Flaherty gives up 5, goes 5 in the third, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 wall, only struck out 2, gave up 2 home runs. You had Banda came in and he shut it down. He gave up a hit, which led to a run on Flaherty's card, but he did strike out the final batter in that inning. Hudson came out and was clean. Brazier came in, gave up 2 runs. Grove came in and gave it a run. And Enriquez came in and gave up 3 runs. So it was one of those things where like everything that happened just went the Padres' way. And those will be very, very, that's a very frustrating loss. Just like, it's very hard to talk that, because it's an embarrassing loss. It's a frustrating loss. Everything, like I said, when you can't get anything right and they can't do no wrong, those are the games that will really, really, really frustrate you, man. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Rough day today for the Dodgers. And I was watching the Laker game on delay because I was watching the Dodger games. I'm actually watching the end of this now. I've been kind of having on right here on the screen as I've been talking to you guys about baseball. Had the Laker preseason game on, so I was just watching this wrap up because I started it late. But yeah, I just see that they're about to they lost theirs too, but it's preseason. But a lot of good things I saw in that game though. A lot better than game 1 for theirs. But the Dodgers, man, let us down today. They got it going on Tuesday. I don't believe they've yet to announce who their starter is in game 3. But we know that San Diego does not have Musgrove, but they do have Michael King, and it is going to be tough. But they obviously have to get one in San Diego, or they will be going home early again. If they lose these 2 games in San Diego, this team is going to have some very difficult discussions and decisions this offseason. I don't really know where to point the finger at this right now, because hitters aren't hitting. Pitchers can't seem to get people out in moments in this game. The way they are starting games, always coming from behind. And I understand that the Padres are a very good team, an offensive team. And I know that Flaherty throughout his career, the first inning is his worst inning. He typically has been better and good with getting out of jams and facing teams at runners in scoring position. But like I said, he's not an ace. Yamamoto's not an ace yet. And we were kind of hoping and counting that one of these guys would give us an ace performance in just one of these games. We were able to overcome Yamamoto giving up 5 runs. We were not able to overcome Jack Flaherty giving up 5 runs. And when you're starting pitching, your 2 best starting pitchers give up 10 runs in 2 games, that really, really puts your bullpen in a bad spot. It puts the pressure on your bats whenever they come up and they're down 3-0 all the time, and they gotta press. They gotta try to get the runs back any way possible. And this is when it kind of leads to. And that's why you got guys up there pressing. You got guys up there trying to do too much. And instead of just chip away, get a single here, manufacture here, do this here, move the runner. Every single time someone got on base, they should have ran on you, Darvish. They should have put pressure on him, make him feel the stress. That is on Dave Roberts. That is on Dave. You know that this guy is horrible at holding runners on base. You know that guys can steal on him rather easily. You have to exploit that. You have to. You can't just not go after someone's blatant weakness on the other side when they're attacking yours at every turn. Doesn't work that way, man. This is war now, right? This is war. You got to attack everything on their side. Everything. As much as you can. On that note, drop a like on the video if you guys have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so already. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, you can become a member to the channel. Click that join button or go to the description. And the first link in the description is where you can become a member. We got 3 different tiers of membership. For less than the cost of lunch, you can become a member for an entire month. Great way to help support the channel. Shout out to all our current members. We appreciate you greatly. Also, make sure to use our Fanatic links to get all of your MLB, NBA, and NFL gear and more. Make sure to use our link to get special discounts, and your purchase also helps support the channel. because the good people at Fanatics take care of us when you take care of them by ordering through them. Great way to help the channel. Get the gear you want anyway. Your order experience does not change just by using our link. It benefits the channel. So thank you for those who have done so already. And all we ask is if you do order on Fanatics, use our link. Helps us out. Shando, what's up, Shando? Lakers got too many point guards. Shando goes in talking Lakers right off the top. What's going on, Katie? Appreciate you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Does San Diego got a different culture than LA, like BK and NY? Well, I mean, San Diego is a lot farther from LA than BK is from NY. So a different culture. I mean, different sport teams, but I'd say it's still very, very heavy Latino. Southern California culture is a little different, but you know, it's still Southern California. There's a lot of Dodger fans in San Diego. You know what I mean? So it's like, as far as different culture, I know a lot of people from San Diego. I used to go to San Diego a lot, especially Gaslamp. But no, it's Southern California for the most part. Northern California and Southern California typically don't get along. The Dodgers and the Padres have never really been a rivalry. I think the Padres fans want it to be, and the Padres want it to be a rivalry more than it really is. But outside of that, no. I mean, Southern California is pretty much Southern California. Katie said, I don't know the full story of what happened on the field, parking lot, etc. If you don't mind sharing, that would be great. I touched on that on the beginning. So yeah, so it's just like, no, you have like, I said, you've got some Padre fans that show up and they're just coming to watch their team, you know, and they should be allowed to do that, right? They come in, they're respectful. It's usually like a guy and his chick, right? And it's like either like, you know, they moved here for work or something, or moved here to be with someone, right? But they're from San Diego, that's their team, right? And so they're coming to the game and they're with their shorty or whatnot, and then like you got people just like, you know, taking it too far sometimes. Like those are people, leave them alone, right? Leave them alone. He's just coming to watch his team. He's wearing his jersey, like he's supporting his team. Those are the ones, just leave them be, right? But you got some that come up and they're just looking for trouble out the gate. F the Dodgers and Dodgers suck and da-da-da-da while you're at the stadium, while you're at Dodger Stadium. Like those guys, you know, cause problems, right? You know that's going to lead to something. Something is going to happen eventually. Maybe not the first time you say it. Maybe not the first time you said it. Second time, maybe it didn't happen in the parking lot. Maybe it didn't happen at the bar when you first came in, at whichever side of the gate you were coming in. Maybe it didn't happen on the way up to your seat. But if you keep going, eventually you're going to find that one person that's had too many or just is not with it, right? And it's going to lead to something. And then what happens is that makes things bigger than it is. It spirals into something bigger, and then tensions are high, and then the next Padre fan that comes around or whatever team it is gets it worse when they didn't even do anything, and vice versa, right? I've had this happen to me at other ballparks too when I went in with Dodger gear as a Dodger fan. This isn't just at Dodger Stadium. Like my thing is like, so you kind of get some of that going back and forth, right? And last night I was at the game and there was a guy sitting front row who just stood up, and we were winning. We were winning. At this point, we were already up 7-5 and the game was in our hand. This dude gets up and he turns around and he takes a swing at the dude sitting behind him, who happened to be a Padre fan, but an older guy. He was an older guy, right? So he swings at him. He got him, but not like he intended to. He kind of missed him, but he caught him a little bit. And so like kind of jumps up and like people like clear him out of there, because at the end of the day, like that's an older person. Like that you can't do that. That's a non-starter, right? So that happens, and the dude just like gets up and starts walking out, and one of my boys just sitting there and he just like, you know, he's like, nah, you just hit, like, I don't want to say the dude's elderly, but the dude's probably 20 years older than him, right? And he starts walking up. My friend says, he goes, do that to me. Like, do that to me. Like, you know, and this is Dodger fan on Dodger fan at this point, right? And then like my friend is ready to drag this dude out the stadium, put hands on him, right? And my friend's a big dude. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. He's like, no, come in here. And the dude like looked at him. He was about to say something. He's like, probably gonna lose this one, right? But then like, you know, that was Dodger fans actually backing up a Padre fan, because a Dodger fan got stupid. I don't know what that dude said to him. Obviously, like, I don't think he just stood up and turned around and punched him for no reason. They were probably talking smack throughout the game, but you can't. That's my point. You can't just get up, stand up, turn around, and try to punch someone in the face simply because they're a fan of another team. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, that's just going too far. That's just going too far. I love my teams. I love sports. But I'm not about to sacrifice my freedom or put my wife through something just simply because someone's a fan of another team. You know what I mean? Like, it's my job to protect her. How I look if I'm at a stadium starting a brawl while she's right there with me. If I'm caught up in that and I'm getting, how am I going to protect her? Right? So it's like, it's stupid when people do that. So you had that, and you had people throwing food and throwing items at people who are wearing other jerseys. And I'm like, dude, this is, y'all going too much. And in the parking lot after the game, there's always something. There's always something. And there's, you know, you got some girls that are running their mouth, and then their dudes get involved, and it's just like, here we go. You know what I mean? Here we go. But that's just kind of what it is. But the Pro 4 thing, like I said, the Pro 4 thing was he made that incredible catch. He kind of taunted the fans a little bit. He got caught up in the moment. I felt the interview he did on TV talking about the moment, I felt like he was genuinely like, I didn't say nothing to them. It was just a dream come true, and I got excited. Like, I truly feel like he just got caught up in the moment, right? Like NBA players doing, they hit a big shot and someone was talking trash and they go up and do something like that. Happens more than you think. But apparently, because I have a friend that was sitting right there in that section, apparently, but he just kept chirping at that section nonstop, just kept talking trash with him. And then at the end of like between innings where they're kind of throwing the ball around the outfield, he threw a ball into the crowd. Then he turns around and he gets in his position, and then whoever got the ball threw it back on the field. Now, I can't speak to the person's intent of whether they were aiming for him or not, but we see that all the time. Someone hits a home run, they throw the ball, throw it back, right? So they threw it back onto the field, and he just lost his mind. And it kind of just went and turned into something that then led to something where they were throwing stuff by Fernando Tatis's area because he was mocking the crowd with the fake tears and all that stuff. So, like I said, these guys, it's October baseball, tensions are high, but you also have to read the room and recognize a hostile environment. And if you're going to play with a crowd like the Dodger Stadium crowd, you got to know where you are. Like, you got to be careful, because one thing, you're down there, you're protected. For the most part, nothing is going to happen to you, but you're riling up. And this isn't just, you know what I mean? You're riling up people while your fans are in attendance. You have some of your fans there. So for you to rile up these lunatics when they get that way, and it's not a majority of the Dodger fans won't do anything, right? But you get some of them that are just going to go too far no matter what. And that's a rally cry to get them going. And they have more access to your fans than they do to you. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like, the Padre players have to recognize that. And it feels weird to even have to talk about this because it shouldn't happen, but it's the reality of it. I've seen it happen myself. I've been at games versus Giants where the Giants fans are there and something happens. And then so they just start taking it on their fans, throwing stuff at them, screaming at them, calling them all kinds of names. And that fan did nothing to deserve it but wear his team's colors. And so what I'm saying is, I've been at a stadium. I've been at Petco and had things thrown at me. I've been at the Giants stadium and have things thrown at me and been spat at. You know what I mean? Like, this has happened to me. So I know what it's like, and I would never do that to another fan. If someone comes up crazy, steps to you, being totally disrespectful, puts hands on you, then we gonna have a conversation in multiple ways. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, like, simply because you're showing up to represent your team with a ticket that you paid for, like, that doesn't give me the right to do anything to you simply because you're not a Dodger fan. And that's kind of like, that's kind of basically what it was for the most part. Let's see. To me, most San Diego Cats just support LA teams anyways. For the most part, yeah. Because there's really no more real teams left in San Diego now but the Padres, right? The Clippers left in the 70s. The Chargers left. No, they got college down there, but for the most part, San Diego is the only pro sport in town. So, and it's only really recently, because the Padres are typically terrible, but it's only like in recent memory where they've gotten better. And it's like, the Padres are like the Clippers, essentially. The Padres are basically the Clippers of the MLB. How the Clippers want to be a rival with the Lakers so bad, but it's just not a thing, right? Padres want to be a rival with the Dodgers so bad. So bad. But it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. Like, granted, if they beat us this year, then maybe we're going to start talking about, like, you know, okay, they beat us twice in the playoffs in the last handful of years. But it has to go much, much deeper than that for it to be a rivalry. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's going on, my guy? I appreciate you. Eric Kwan, what's up, man? Not a great day. Yeah, not a great day sports-wise. Well, not a, yeah. Today was just one of those weird days. Last night was a great day, not just because the Dodgers won, just a great day overall. Like, you know what I mean? And today, like all day, I don't know, there's a lot of weird stuff today. I don't know, something in the air or something, whatever. But then our sports team losing, and it's just yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to Monday, man. Get this Sunday out of here, man. We will bounce back. I think so too. I still think this team, like this, everyone, and I said this, you know, when I did my preview to this series, it just feels like this is going to be a 5-game series. It just feels like we knew that if the Padres had to have a chance in this series, they were going to have to get one in LA, and then now the Dodgers have to take it back. They have to take it back. And if they don't, they're done. Right. So we're going to see what this team is made of right away. And if they get embarrassed on Tuesday after getting embarrassed at Dodger Stadium, they're going to be in trouble. They're definitely going to be in trouble. Definitely going to be in trouble. So they almost have to win this next game. They have to. Or worst case scenario, it has to be a close game. Like they cannot lose this and be blown out back-to-back games. They cannot lose to them in this fashion back-to-back games. Katie says it's crazy that the Dodgers best getting touched up. Walker and maybe Knack have to be the guys having to go to a hostile San Diego. Sheesh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they put us in a position now where we have to rely on Buehler, Knack, or a bullpen game to get a game in San Diego. And I don't love that. I don't love those odds. And while we've seen Walker Buehler have big moments on the road, obviously going to be tougher. But honestly, guys, it's going to come down to the bats in the pen. Because even if Buehler gives up just 3 runs or the pen, whatever it is, like that, like the Dodgers got to score runs. Like they can only muster 5 hits and 2 runs today at home. So it's like the Dodgers got to score runs. I told you that you know they were going to need to get 5-6 runs in multiple games here. Today they got 2, they lost. And if they, you know, who knows if that home run by Mookie, if they get a couple runs early on, maybe San Diego's not feeling themselves so much. Maybe this onslaught doesn't happen. I don't know. We can't rewrite history here, right? But at the end of the day, like they never had them feeling stressed. We need to shut up that crowd in that softball stadium that sits like 40,000 people, small ass stadium there. We need to shut them up and we need to shut them down, take them out of the equation. Those Johnny come latelys over there acting like they've been showing up for 20 years. We need to shut them up. And again, if you want to shut up the Padres, you got to beat them. You got to beat them. I'm okay with them talking. Like the best way to shut up a talker, beat them. That's the best way to shut them up. And if they keep talking after that, they're clowns, right? They're clowns. Who wants to talk to a clown? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you want to shut them up, beat them. If you don't beat them, they're going to keep talking, and that's just is what it is. And honestly, when they beat you, they can talk. It's the same thing I always said about Denver and the Lakers and Michael Malone. People didn't like him talking. Beat them. You want to shut them up, beat them. But when they beat you, they sweep you, whatever this may be, like they can talk. They're going to talk. You want to shut them up, you got to beat them. Point blank, period. Mets game crazy, running on those hot bats. Yeah, man, I thought they got it, man. When he hit that home run in the 9th, I was like, oh, my God. I bet my friend, once they were down 6-4, I was like, they're going to tie it in the 9th. He's like, nah. And I'm like, bro, this happens every time. I really thought they were going to win the game. I didn't take the bet that they were going to win the game, luckily, but I took the bet that they were going to tie it in the 9th. And he did, man. I was like, what is going on here, man? This team. And that's what I told you about, these teams that get hot, these teams that don't go away, right? And that's the Mets. They do not go away. They just keep coming at you. And that's what the Padres are. See, the Padres are, when they get up on you, that they can front run the hell out of you. The Mets just keep coming at you when they're behind. And the Dodgers have a knack for coming back, but not like the Mets. The Mets, it's like you just expect it. Like they're coming back. Will they win? We'll see, but they're coming back. What's up, Bloodhound? How you doing, man? Appreciate you. As a former San Diegan, why did I say that? As a former San Diegan, Dodgers aren't exactly loved in San Diego. No, they're not loved. But because when San Diego was so bad, like I said, I used to go out to San Diego all the time. And a lot of people I knew that lived out there were Dodger fans. You know what I mean? So like, they definitely have a lot of Padre fans are obviously, and their fans don't love them. But because they were so bad, I used to go to Dodger games all the time, and it was just nothing but Dodger fans there, right? So obviously closer trip to LA, easier to get there. But I also know a lot of Dodger fans that live in San Diego. And like I said, I used to go to games and there'd be a lot of them there. Double Pancakes, what's going on, man? Hey, Jeff, what happened between you and who? Everyone good? Haven't seen y'all together. Oh, me? No, it's fine. Just been, like I said, I haven't really been doing basketball. I took like 2 months off of basketball. So I haven't really been covering it. I've been doing baseball. Dan's not really a baseball guy, right? He covers the Dodgers like sometimes, but the Lakers are his bread and butter. But no, as far as I haven't really been making the basketball rounds. I haven't been really part of the basketball circuit, right? So I've been covering baseball, just kind of getting back into basketball. So we'll see. You know, we'll see. It's when you're doing your own channel like I'm doing now, like I've been doing, it's hard to it's a tough enough commitment to do your own channel, and I'm really trying to like focus on mine right now. So I haven't been on really anybody's shows in a while, as I've been locked in on mine. So, but appreciate you for checking in. But like I said, it's just I haven't really been doing basketball for a while. San Diego similar to LA, more retirees. Yeah, that's true. This is true. San Diego thinks it's a rivalry. They do, and it's not. they want it to be a rivalry. They definitely want it to be a rivalry. Yeah, you don't act like an idiot when in enemy territory. Yeah, that's just doing too far. You're just asking for it. Like when I'm in someone else's stadium, I'm on my business. I root for my team, but I read the room. If I know that not only am I in a stadium that can be hostile, but a section that's hostile, then I act accordingly. Again, it depends who I'm with, right? If I'm with my wife, then I'm gonna be like, when people talk trash, I'm for the most part, I'm gonna take it because I'm not gonna put her in harm's way. Like I said, someone putting hands on me is a whole different thing, right? Someone talking trash when my responsibility is to make sure that she gets in and out safe. Like, I don't have the luxury to let my pride get in the way, right? I have a job to do. One, I'm at a game. I want to watch the game and enjoy it. Two, I'm not roping her in any of that. You know what I mean? So, but if I'm with my boys and someone, then it's like, okay, sometimes you get a little bit more froggy, right? Because I got nothing to protect at that point. But even then, like, I'm old enough to where I don't got to be doing that stuff. Back in the day, man, I'd slap someone for free. You know what I mean? But now it's like, nah, I'm here to watch this game. I'm not dealing with this stuff, man. Shando says, I think Dynasty's got us believing winning rings. It's easy, man. This is hard. It just hit me this past season, to be honest. I've been telling people that for forever. Like the entitlement of ring culture, right? I've been telling you guys. Everyone's like, it's championship or bust. Oh my God. Like, you gotta understand, it is so hard to win in any sport. Some sports harder than others, let alone repeat, right? So I keep telling people all the time, everyone says it's championship or bust. When we as Laker fans, we have one championship in 14 years, right? As Dodger fans, we have one championship in 36 years. And with the Dodgers and Lakers, no one wants to give us credit because they were in bubbles, right? So they even try to take that away from us. But it is very hard to do. Now the Dodgers have been more competitive every season than the Lakers have been, but they haven't won it every year, right? And there's some people where it's like, if you don't win, it is a failure. And while championship teams are contenders, if they don't win, it's a failure. But if you're building a team, if you're coming along, if you overachieve, that's not a failure. Now, if you are the favorite and you fail, that's a failure. This year, Dodgers not winning a World Series would be a failure, even while being hurt. Last year was not a failure because they actually kind of overachieved during the regular season and then kind of played in the playoffs like we almost expected them to play in the regular season. So it's just a little bit different. But ring culture in general is trash. It's corny. It's people who's never won anything in their lives trying to dictate how great a professional is if they don't win. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just been kind of goofy to me. I know Laker fans are like, we're the standard. We hold ourselves, right? Celtics fans hold themselves as the standard. What I'm saying is that for anyone to sit up here and think that if you don't win every year, it's a failure, that's foolish, because no team wins every year. No team wins every year. It's basically saying that the whole season was a failure. Nothing was good about it. There's nothing to build off. It was a complete waste of time for everyone. And that's not true, right? Now, last year felt like damn near a complete waste of time for everyone, because the season was just literally trash from the moment it started to the moment it ended. But the year before, when everything was a mess and they turned it around and went to the Western Conference Finals, they kind of overachieved that year because they just came off a year where they didn't make the playoffs. They were heading down that path again. They made some moves. They went on a run, and they knocked out higher seed teams on the road and went to the Western Conference Finals. Now, most Laker fans would never admit that season was overachieving, but it was. It was. And then last year was an underachievement because we went backwards. And so this season remains to be seen. Let's see. October feeling like summer in Cali. Yeah, it's been hot this week. It's gonna be hot again next week. We'll see. I like hoodie weather, man. We got a week of it. We had a week of hoodie weather. I was enjoying it. And then it went back to 95, 100 degrees, man. So we're lucky though, because we're not getting the wind. Like a lot of time it'll be like at this time of the year, it's like hot and windy, which leads to fire season. And there's like ash all over the place. It's hard to breathe. And at least we don't have that. Well, let me knock. We don't have that. It's hot, but we don't have the wind we typically get at this time, which is a good thing, man. Craig, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, man. Let's see. We got some here. Internet is my home. He says that might have been the last game in Dodger Stadium this season. Sad. It may be. We'll have to wait and see. The team's going to have to get one in Petco to get another game at Dodger Stadium, and that is a fact. So, I'll tell you what, if these two teams play the same way they both played tonight, then we won't be back in LA for a game 5. But it is obviously my hope that the Dodgers can get at least one in San Diego and come home to win it, or win it in San Diego. But San Diego is good. That's a very good team. They've got some great players over there. They're going to have some very loud fans. And the Dodgers are going to have to go out there and give everything they got to get a win, and then try to do it again. So while they've definitely made things harder on themselves, they've made the journey tougher, the series isn't over. It's not. It's harder. It's more difficult, a little more scary, but it's not over. It's not over yet. Shan says, as a Braun fan, though, I got a different opinion on the roster, as you know, because I know the right squad will give us a chance. Well, the right squad will always give us a chance, but sometimes, you being a Braun fan, you got to understand that sometimes certain players, and this isn't shade, certain players don't want to play with Braun because they can't play under not only the bright lights of the Lakers, but they don't want to play under the pressure of playing with him with all the attention it brings, right? That's more shade on that other player than it is Braun. And then you got some guys who want to play with Braun but show up here and just can't perform, right? And then you got guys who just flat out didn't work out, right? Or the we knew wasn't going to work out, and they did the move anyways, and it was terrible. But it's just like the Braun era. We're going to look back at the Braun era and realize that we had one of the greatest of all time. Some call him, their GOAT. Some call him the second best. Whatever you have him, I'm not here for that. But we got to watch him right now. This is year 7 as a Laker. So he's already been here almost as long as Shaq was. Shaq played 8 years, right? But one championship so far, and a lot of disappointment, a lot of letdown, some injuries, some off years, some bad rosters, whatever it is. The partnership between the Lakers and LeBron has made a lot of money for each other, which, I'm sure they're not too upset about. But at the same time, it did not translate to the winning that we thought it would. And it's probably not going to again in Braun's tenure here. Just like this is not a contending team. It's just not right now. It's not. We'll see if they become one. throughout the season. It's just frustrating when GMs, front offices don't do their jobs well too, though. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I'm also trying to do my best to not partake in online hoop debates unless it's with actual people who love the game. Otherwise, it's hella cringe and toxic. Yep. That's why I don't really do a lot of panels. That's why I don't really go to a lot of panels. While I love pretty much all the hosts, right? I think there's a lot of great content creators out there. But sometimes some people's on panels just it's just really hard to talk basketball with some of them. Some of them are great. Some of them are great. And sometimes you have a panel with mixed. And sometimes ones that are great get kind of drowned out by those that aren't because they're just talking over people and yelling and cursing. And it just makes it not fun. I like to talk the game with people who know the actual game, not just talking narratives, not just their opinion has to be right and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? That's why, I'm a kind of a solo show, right? I get up here, I talk, I read your guys' chats, we have dialogue. I kind of run my show like a radio show type of thing, right? I don't do a lot of panels. It's pretty much voice only for the most part. And because I've always wanted to be a radio guy. So sitting up here and doing a show and talking with you guys and stuff like that. And when I do have panels, and I'm gonna very soon, they're more controlled panels, more organized. And so that's how you kind of protect the value, right? And that's how you kind of give the viewer or the listener a better experience. And so I'm kind of the same way with that. Let's see. Shando says the Skip Bayless type have ruined sports talk, though. Yeah. There's a lot more Skip Baylesses on the internet than there is Skip Baylesses, right? LeBron just unfortunate he hasn't had good coaches or management in Los Angeles. That's fair too, Craig. That is fair. Let's see. I didn't like Locker Room, but I love how he exposed TF at a Dreamers Pro. That guy legit. Where's Skip Bayless? Yeah. Channel Reg is an acquired taste. Some people love him, some people don't. I like Reg. Not just for a show, but he's always been good to me. He's always been real cool with me. He's supported me. He watches my shows. He's chimed in. He's giving me super chats. Like Reg has always been real with me. He's been down with me, been cool with me. I've always supported him as well, and vice versa. And so, I'm not one to tell someone how to run their show or what to do. But the Dreamers Pro stuff was funny. I've never really watched Dreamers Pro, and it wasn't because I'm cool with Reg. I just never really watched it. I don't watch a lot of shows because I'm trying to find time to do mine. The ones I do watch are some of the creators I know that I have like relationships with, and I want to support them, and I do my best to support everybody. But outside of that, I don't see all of these shows because I simply just don't have the time. And so Dreamers Pro, I never really saw his show. He would pop up on my feed every once in a while because the algorithm will just put basketball shows in front of you from time to time. So I'm not gonna I can't say I never saw him because I checked in, like every once in a while I'd see it pop up, like see what he's talking about. But every time he was on there, for me, it was just always just LeBron bashing. And there's a couple of the channels I'm not gonna name drop. I just spoke on them when you said because you put the name out there. But there's a couple of the channels where it's just all they do is just nonstop, just bash Braun. And I'm not even like, Braun's not even like my GOAT, right? Braun isn't my favorite player of all time. And to me, it's too much, right? And a lot of these guys are quote unquote Kobe guys, and Kobe's my GOAT. So a lot of people would think that I would just side with them because they're Kobe guys, but I actually disagree with a lot of Kobe guys, right? Because I feel like the Kobe that they think they represent is wrong, right? And I think that a lot of the things that they do, they just only use Kobe to help tear down LeBron, just like people would use MJ to tear down Kobe. And I just don't want to be part of those narratives. I don't need to use another man to tear another man down, right? So I think that Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron are all great, all top in their eras. And I think you could say they're all great and say that you enjoyed watching all of them without tearing down any of them. And that's how I see it. I did not get to see in Jordan's entire career. I did get to see the entire career of Braun and Kobe. And like I said, Kobe's my favorite player of all time. And I think Braun is incredible. I think both those things can't be true. But shout out to Reg in the locker room, man. That's my guy. Bridges, what's going on, Bridges, man? Hey, Jeff, not worried about our bats, but like I said, from once, I'm not confident we have the pitching to get it done. Gonna need Flaherty and Yama to be better. Team is capable, though. Yeah, Bridges, what's going on, brother? I agree with you 100%. And like I said, man, our two who we expected to be our two top guys in the rotation for this series, giving up 5 runs each, is not ideal. 1 second, y'all. Got to get some water. All right, sorry about that, man. I have had a lot of fun yesterday, man. I had a lot of fun yesterday. Yo, I got to bed at like 4 a.m. this morning. I just got to bed at 4 a.m. and I woke up at every Sunday, pretty much the latest I'm up. The latest I'm up is like 8. I usually have my first shotgun at like 8:30 and ride it through. But today, like I really didn't. Like today, I was like, got up, but because I fell asleep at like 4, I woke up a little later today, like 9, and I was like, man, I got football in an hour. You know, get Lucky's walk in, do all this stuff, then get back to watch football. Then I was like, man, I'm hungry, right? I'm half tired, half dead. So I'm watching football. I'm like, man, I don't even feel like drinking right now. And then it gets to the point of the Dodger game. My Giants won though. My Giants won today though. Oh my God, they had a crazy play at the end of that game that they won it on. Oh my God, man, it was crazy. Shout out to the Giants, man. But I got absolutely shellacked today in my fantasy league. Let me tell you this. I had the second highest scoring output of the entire league today. And the only reason I lost is because the guy who beat me had the highest. And when I tell you I scored 175 points and lost. Oh my God. And the dude I lost to, right? So I would have beaten everyone else in my league. I would have beat everyone else except for the fact that the dude I got matched up with, me and him had the 2 highest scoring days in the entire league. And I lost. And I scored 175, man. And I lost. I'm like, what is going on here, man? Crazy. I'm 1-4 in my fantasy. I have the best team in the fantasy, but I keep losing. Which is weird that I say it's the best team, but I'm favored every week. I still have the best roster it's scored as. And I keep losing because someone just has the game of their freaking life every time they're matched up against me. And today, it was Chase and Chase and Jackson killed me today, man. It was like, what the hell? Crazy, man. Appreciate you, Bridges, man. Hope you're doing well. Craig says, where is Reggie? He hasn't been on lately. I don't know. You know, he hasn't been on. He hadn't been doing any lives. I think he posted some like pre-recorded videos. I haven't talked to him in like I haven't seen him in a bit, but maybe he took some time off. Like I said, man, Reg's show is it's action packed, right? There's a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of battling going on. And there's a lot of I don't want to say tension, but there's a lot of smoke over there. You know, he calls it a smoke show, and I can't speak for him because I don't really know the answer to it. But maybe he just needed to take a break, right? Like I did. I took a 2-month break, right, from basketball and covered baseball. So I don't know. I'm sure he'll be back though, especially when the season gets going. But this is a grind, Craig. It's a grind. And if for someone like, you know, if you're one of these creators who are blessed enough to have gotten to a point where they can do this full time and they don't got a regular like 9 to 5 or regular job or a career or a business they run on the side, right? It's hard to make the time always to do this, especially when you're doing it later on at night. So sometimes people schedule just something comes up, right? Or they go on a trip or something. So I'm sure he's fine. And I'm sure he'll be back pissing people off in no time. Like I said, shout out to Reg, man. It's always these old school hoop channels. Yeah. I've seen some of the non-old school. I've seen the guys that just hate on Braun, right? It's just I call it like the anti-Braun support group, right? Or the anti-Braun social club. Like they just go there to just any little thing they could use to tear down Braun because it drives traffic. Like it's what they're doing is smart when it comes to like if you're trying to get the most views, the most likes, the most clicks, make more money, that route is actually very effective, right? But your accountability goes out the window. Like no one takes you serious. You're like a tabloid. You're like someone that we already know what you're going to talk about before you do it. There's no real dialogue. There's no one can really learn anything from it, right? It's just rah-rah. And a lot of people like that. It's not me. It's far be it for me to discredit that, right? A lot of people like that. So creators that that do that, they're very successful because there's a lot of people out there looking for that. And, they'll find that there. Let me see here. Shadow says it's more common for baseball players to play past 40. Ichiro played till he was like 45. Yeah, especially if you're a DH and you're just going up there to hit. You'll see a lot of older DHs, right? Or first baseman, stuff like that. So yeah, you can see older guys, even some pitchers too. So yeah, they can definitely play longer. We got the outlaw Joe Hokie. Our batters didn't do jack tonight. We had better worry about them. Dodgers, wake the beep up. You got to feel like, we all do right now, huh? Sorry for the angry rant. I'm fed up with the way the Dodgers play in the playoffs the last several years. No, don't be sorry. We're all frustrated, man. Like I said, I had to come home and come over here and do this show only because I don't want to be that guy that only shows up when we win. Sometimes my schedule just doesn't let me do shows. I'm not an every night guy, but I don't want to be labeled as the guy that just shows up when we win, right? I don't want to be that. So wanted to make some time to come up here. And plus, I know people are frustrated. People are upset. People want a place to talk about it, talk Dodgers and do that. And there was other shows on earlier, and I kind of came on when they were going off. So, it still kind of lines up. But we're all very frustrated. But I tell you what, we're not more frustrated than the Dodgers players are. I can tell you that. And they have the power to do something about it. We don't. They have the ability to do something about it. We don't. They have also what it takes to show up and get a game in San Diego. That's what makes it so frustrating, is because they do have what it takes to do it. They just have to do it. And this team has broken my heart for decades. This is nothing new. The Dodgers letting us down in October is not something new. This has been around for a long time, and it is very frustrating. But I also understand that I'm also very grateful that they're there every year. There is value in that, but at the end of the day, we need a parade, man. Like we need to have that. I go to a lot of baseball games. I spend a lot of money on baseball. I spend a lot of time on baseball. Time away from my family. Time away because I just love it so much, right? Same with basketball. So it's frustrating when you make that commitment, you make those sacrifices. Your family makes the sacrifices for me to not only watch the games, but then create content after the fact. And you want to feel like you're doing that for something. You want to feel like it kind of makes you feel like you're part of something. You're not really on the team, but you feel like you're part of the wave, right? You feel like you're part of the culture. You feel like it's we. And people are like, wait, why are you saying we? You're not on the team. Yeah, you know what? We're not on the team, but we represent the team. There would be no team without us. So there would be no they without we. So it is a we, because Dodgers have a nation. We are in the stadium. We are wearing their jerseys. We are watching every game. We listen to them on the road in traffic. We check every time news breaks about them. We follow everything we can about them. So it is a we. We're not on the field, but we are part of this thing, because there is nothing without the fans, and there's no sport without the athletes, and there's no teams without the owners, and there's no league without the league. It is a we thing. So when people always say, why do you say we? That's why. Because we can. That's why we say we. Let's see. Shando says, I wonder if Jordan and Kobe got the same hate during their career. Kobe did. I still feel he got more love and sense, maybe just different things. So that's the thing. That's my biggest beef is, I don't know how old you are, Shando, but the Kobe love came way late. Kobe was hated so much, right? I used to get in so many fights defending Kobe because everyone tried to say, oh, Vince Carter's better. Oh, T-Mac's better. Oh, he'll never beat Jordan. Oh, here comes Bron. Kobe will never be this. Kobe was never the best player in the league. Kobe couldn't win nothing without Shaq. Kobe only won because of Shaq. Yada, yada, yada. The shade on Kobe was crazy. So it became popular. So like I said, it reached a point where dudes started using Kobe to discredit Bron, right? And that's why when Kobe retired, they switched that to Steph and Kawhi, right? to where it became to root for Steph because he was Bron's kryptonite, right? And then when the Warriors kind of broke up and those injuries happened, then it became all about now Kawhi's the new guy in the way. Kawhi's the new guy to stop Bron. And it's always just been about, and a lot of those guys were using Kobe as a way to just discredit Bron. They really didn't love Kobe like that because a lot of those guys were bashing Kobe earlier on in his career. So see, I've got all the receipts on that. I lived it. And then you got some guys who just weren't old enough. Like I said, I couldn't watch MJ in his assassin years. I saw Kobe's assassin years. Now I saw Jordan's championship runs, but I didn't see 84 to like 89. You know, I didn't see those years when he was struggling. I didn't see the years when he was out there just killing, lighting up scoreboards, but not necessarily winning, right? When I started kind of being glued to basketball was when Jordan started winning. So there's a lot of those guys who didn't really see Kobe till after the Shaq and Kobe era like that, right? They weren't outside. They may have been 7, 8, 9 years old watching in their living room, but it's not the same, right? So they really don't possess the memory of someone who was doing that at 20, 22, right? So they know about that era. They technically did live it, but they really didn't in a way, right? So then they got the Kobe Pow days, right? So they got a whole different side of that. They got the back end of Kobe where he got more love. But the first 60% of Kobe's career, there was a whole lot of hate and a whole lot of bashing and a whole lot of him catching strays. And that happened pretty often. And he was like I said, I watched him from the get-go. And there were people who were like 2 years old when Kobe was drafted, right? So they couldn't see it. They were 5 years old when he got drafted or whatever, right? So it's like it didn't really happen to them until just the repeat with Powell. Now they could say like they were in a living room with their dads or uncles or grandpas, whatever, right? And they kind of vaguely remember it, but they can't break down what happened in those games. And that does change your ability to speak of that era. It really does. Now you can be an historian and research and do all that stuff, but you didn't live it. So it makes it like a little bit different, if you know what I mean. Kobe was my favorite player growing up. Then it became Bron like 5 years ago. Kobe def got hated. It's different when you talk about Bron. Jordan is the one who got the clean praise. Yeah, because a lot of the guys, Bron, a lot of dudes are jealous of Bron. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are jealous of Bron. It's just really weird. Like I said, I'm not a quote unquote Bron guy. Like he's not my GOAT, but you can clearly see like it's a real weird obsession with some of these dudes with Bron. Let's see. Warren Lamar. What's going on, Warren? Let's make it clear. Hugh Darvish is a true loser. He lost Game 7 in 2017. Yeah, Warren, and he went out there. He killed us in 2017 pitching for us, and he killed us today pitching against us. Man, it's just very frustrating, man. Very frustrating. Hugh Darvish just had a good career. He just didn't have a good Dodger career. You know what I mean? And he had some good moments as a Dodger, like going in and beating Arizona. In 2017, like he had good games. It just so happens that he faced the Astros. He was tipping his pitches, and they knew what was coming, essentially, right? And he got ran out of town. I still think it was kind of feel like he got done wrong by a lot of Dodger fans, man. When players don't perform here, Dodger fans can be absolutely brutal. And I'm not one of those guys that just tear down guys, right? Mookie's my favorite player, and he's frustrating the hell out of me right now. But I don't tear guys down. I don't. There's plenty of people out there that do that. They don't need me to do that. So we got the day off tomorrow. Then they go into San Diego on Tuesday. Let's see who's pitching on both sides. And let's see if we can get this win on Tuesday, man. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut it down. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, so I appreciate that. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter. Over 60 of you in the building right now. Thank you guys for that. I will catch you guys tomorrow, probably with a Laker video, probably another Dodger video, a couple videos tomorrow. And hopefully they get back on track on Tuesday. We're getting closer to Laker season. We'll have more on that. So hope you guys had a good Sunday. Hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. Hope you guys have a good Monday. Thank you guys. Stay safe. Go Dodgers. Go Lakers. Catch you guys tomorrow, man. I'm out.